What's up guys, Wagwan. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Osborne Chin, a wedding, portrait and lifestyle photographer based in beautiful Jamaica. In this video, I will be discussing some things to consider when you are looking to buy a new camera or upgrading your current camera. It's easy to become overwhelmed with the hundreds of options available on the market today. There are limitless options of DSLR cameras and mirrorless cameras that you can choose from. So if you're looking to make the most informed decision about the camera that's perfect for you, then this video is for you. Today I will try to answer the one question that photographers get asked every day. What camera should I buy? The simple answer is that it depends. I won't be able to tell you specifically which camera to buy, but I will recommend a list of things to consider when making that decision. Ultimately though, it all boils down to what is best for you, and only you can decide that based on your specific needs. So, without wasting any more time, let's get right into it. So the first thing that you want to know is, what are you shooting? What is the purpose of this camera? This is the most important factor in deciding which camera to get. What will you be using the camera for? Why are you buying a camera in the first place? What are you looking to create with this camera? Are you going to be focusing on just photography or videography? Are you going to be using it to shoot both photos and videos? Are you going to be using it as an all-purpose camera? This is important since different cameras are more suited for either photography or videography, while some cameras are suited for both. So, let's say that you'll be focusing on photography. Now, there are a number of factors to consider here. Are you shooting things like family and children running around and everyday things? Are you taking photos of sports and wildlife? Maybe you're shooting things like events or weddings, or maybe you're shooting landscapes or shooting for large prints. Of course, you can use one camera to shoot all those things. But if you are clear about what you'll be shooting, there are specific cameras that do each thing really well. Answering these questions then can help you to narrow down your choice of camera. So let's take for example, if you're interested in shooting landscape or product photography or even portraits, you may want to choose a camera that has maybe a full frame sensor, or a camera with a higher megapixel count, or one that offers greater dynamic range and better image quality. On the other hand, if you're shooting things like sports or wildlife, you may be better off choosing a camera with a fast autofocus system, a camera that has high frames per second. If you're shooting video, then you have to decide what type of video you're shooting. This can also be split into different areas. Are you shooting things like videos of your family? Are you shooting videos of yourself, like vlogs? You may require a camera that has a flip-out screen or an articulating screen. The weight and size may also be a factor here. Now, if you're shooting videos for things like productions or weddings or music videos, you may want a little bit more features in the camera. Things like good autofocus, better dynamic range, and even the resolution is very important. Do you want a camera that can shoot in 4K? Can you shoot in slow motion? 60 frames per second, 120 frames per second, get that nice buttery smooth slow motion? Can your camera record in log format? And if it does offer log format, then chances are that camera is suited for video. Also, you want to think about stabilization. Does your camera have inbuilt stabilization in the body? Or do your lenses have stabilization built into them? Now, if you shoot both photo and video, and you want a combination of best of both worlds, there are some cameras that are marketed to do just that. However, there will be some sacrifices because there is no perfect camera that does everything well. However, Canon should be releasing the upcoming EOS R5 that promises to do just that. But we will have to wait and see. The second thing that I want to talk about in deciding which camera to buy is your sensor size. There is this misconception that full frame cameras are better than crop sensor cameras. To some extent that is true because there are many advantages that full frame cameras have over crop sensor cameras. Things like better low light performance, higher dynamic range, greater depth of field or background blur, or better bokeh. However, if you're shooting wildlife and sports, then you may want to use a crop sensor camera, as this allows you to get closer due to the crop factor. And with today's technology, there are some crop sensor cameras that are packed with all the features and performance of the higher end full frame cameras. So generally speaking, crop sensor cameras are smaller and lighter and cost less than their full frame counterparts. However, there are some full frame cameras that are considered to be entry level and lack a lot of the high-end features reserved for more professional camera bodies. You just have to know what you're looking to achieve and choose accordingly. Another important point to note here is that the lenses for your full-frame cameras are usually larger, heavier, and more expensive. However, they are considered better investments than your crop sensor lenses, as you can always upgrade the camera bodies and use your full-frame lenses in the future. I will talk more about what lenses you should buy in my next video, so stay tuned for that video. The third thing I want to talk about is the whole DSLR versus mirrorless camera debate. Now, for a very long time, the DSLR camera has been the king. It has been considered the ultimate tool for capturing digital images. The physical design of the DSLR, which is a single lens reflex system, incorporates an optical viewfinder, a reflex mirror, and an interchangeable lens. Now, mirrorless cameras have done away with the concept of an optical viewfinder and mirror altogether. This allows them to be smaller and lighter. Now, over the past few years, there has been an influx of mirrorless cameras into the photography space. In fact, we see where camera manufacturers are moving more and more towards developments in mirrorless technology, which seems to suggest that this is the future of the photography industry. Now, is it fair to say that mirrorless cameras are better than DSLRs? Well, not exactly, because they both do the same thing. You can achieve the same results using either system. However, mirrorless cameras tend to have better video features, better autofocus, better tracking, and they are generally more lightweight. Another advantage that mirrorless cameras have is the use of an electronic viewfinder, where you have an actual preview of your image in real time. With DSLRs, you can only achieve this by using the live view function on the camera. The DSLR camera, on the other hand, usually has a better build quality. It usually has better battery life, although battery life on most mirrorless cameras these days are improving. DSLRs also have a wider variety of lenses available, and they usually have better ergonomics and handling. And they tend to be more efficient and more reliable when put in difficult working conditions. Ultimately though, this is a personal preference. If you want to future-proof your investment, then I highly recommend that you choose a mirrorless camera going forward. Probably the most frustrating question I get asked is, which camera brand is best? All of them. The truth is, all the various camera manufacturers make great cameras. They market them to us in a bid to position themselves as superior to their competition. This is a business. And we as consumers, we are the ones that tend to be highly biased towards a particular brand because we've either been convinced by the marketing or the reviews, or we've started our photography journey with a particular brand and we find that it is difficult to switch because we're so familiar with the brand or because we're so loyal to the brand. Also, we probably would have invested heavily in a particular brand, which makes it difficult to switch systems. Whatever the case is, all the brands are excellent. However, it is up to you to decide which one works best for you, depending on certain factors. Your budget is the final determining factor in deciding on which camera to buy. After you've figured out the purpose and whether or not you want a full frame or a crop sensor, or you want a DSLR or a mirrorless camera, or you want it from a particular brand, now is the time to determine how much money you have to spend. There are several factors here that you have to consider. Now, while getting the camera is important, probably more important are the accompanying lenses and accessories that you will need to start shooting and making great images. So while there are a wide variety of cameras ranging from less than $500 to upwards of, say, $8,000, you should first invest in good quality lenses, regardless of how good your camera body is. If you don't have quality lenses, your images will be poor. So make sure you know the best lenses for you and what you will be shooting. Now, you could even choose to rent a lens to see if it's a right fit for you before you buy it. Also, set aside some of your budget for accessories such as memory cards and extra batteries, or even a good camera bag and a tripod. Remember though, you don't have to buy all of these accessories at once, just the ones that you need to start shooting with immediately. So now that you have all this information, you should be able to narrow down your choice of camera or lens combination. Again, if you can, try to test out a camera before you buy it. If you can rent it, that would be great. If you have access to a camera store where you can test the gear, then that's also a good idea. Finally though, make sure you invest in yourself through education. Read books on photography, watch videos on YouTube like this one. Then try to put that knowledge into practice. Learn about the basics, then learn composition, learn lighting, and of course learn editing. In summary, when choosing a camera, you have to evaluate all the different factors and pair your camera with your current skill, your current experience, your needs, as well as your intention. If you are inexperienced and lack skills, then an entry-level camera may be more practical as they are more versatile and can be very useful in learning the fundamentals of photography. If you are looking for what camera to buy, consider how you will be using the camera and determine how much money you have to spend on the camera as well as the lenses and accessories. Once you do that and you have narrowed it down, try to test out that setup if you can. Once you have bought that new camera though, learn your equipment and keep shooting and never stop investing in yourself. So that's it from me today, guys. I hope that you found this video very helpful in deciding what camera to buy. If you have any questions, leave them down in the comments below. If you like this video, please show your appreciation by clicking the like button. Also, don't forget to leave a comment and hit the subscribe button to see more videos from me. See you guys in the next video. One love. Peace.